What's up, everybody? Rob here. So, the Star Wars Episode 9 trailer was just dropped yesterday, and I'm going to be taking a look at it because, hey, why not? Everybody else on the internet's doing it, so I'm going to be doing it too, and because, sure, why not? Any case, this is going to be completely unscripted. I am going to be completely rambling and probably incoherent most of the time, so just keep that in mind. Also, I'm going to be referencing things that happened in the previous movies, possibly other media as well, video games, books, whatever. And so spoilers ahead for all of that. Just as they pop up into my mind, I'm just going to be, going with it, and that's all there is to it there. Yeah. Oh, and the way this is going to work, I'm not going to be reacting to it like in real time. Well, I am going to be playing it, and then I'm going to be stopping it and giving my commentary. Then I'm going to be playing it some more, and then stopping it, and so on and so on. So if you're looking for a continuous, reaction or something like that, this is not the channel for you. Why am I going to be doing things this way? Because this is how I do things. It's my channel. I'll do whatever I want. Any case, so episode 9. I'm cautiously. I did see the trailer, so I'm going to basically be. I have seen it already, so I know what's going to happen here. I just want to point out that I was not a fan of episode 8. Episode 7, okay, I was a huge fan of the original trilogy. Huge fan, loved them. When I was a kid, I watched them like 1,000 times each. I just loved them. I had them on VHS. They were, I practically wore the tapes out. Loved them. The prequels were so bad it's good territory. Lots of flashy lights, stuff going on here. Not really deep fare, but, they're okay. They're actually objectively pretty terrible, but in a so bad it's good sort of way. I like them in a twisted way. Episode 7. Episode 7, well, it was basically just a rehash of A New Hope. I mean, you've all heard this analysis from other people so many other times. I'm not going to really go into that, but okay, you know what? You set up a lot of stuff here. You set up new characters, new adventures, stuff like this. The plot is pretty much a rehash, and the situation is pretty much a rehash. Like, okay, they're fighting the big bad empire again, but okay, fine. I can work with this. Episode 8, Last Jedi, that was a train wreck, and I'm not going to go into all the details why here, but, yeah, train wreck. Rian Johnson screwed up pretty royally with that, and I'm not going to go any further. Maybe I'll do another video, but maybe not. Probably not, but whatever. Any case, this one here, well, the other two, I have not seen Solo, and apparently I'm not missing all that much. I did like Rogue One. That was actually pretty good. I enjoyed that one. This one here, J.J. Abrams is apparently back in the director's seat again, so he's going to be playing up the nostalgia a lot more than Rian Johnson. Rian Johnson wanted, kill the past. That was the big thing from the first Star Wars, and that was his thing here. J.J. Abrams is not going down that road. He seems to be more along the lines of playing up the nostalgia, really like trying to play up our memories of the original series and going off of our beloved franchise that we have loved for, how many generations now. So, any case, so I'm going to be taking a look at the trailer and just giving my commentary. And anyway, that's it. So without further ado, here we go. Okay, once again, they're on a desert planet. I don't know if this is Jakku or if this is Tatooine, but yeah, I know I said I like to play up the nostalgia, which is, fine, but at the same time, you can also try something a little, like, not always be on a desert planet. If you're going to have a desert planet, make it Tatooine and just go full nostalgia, or just have a completely different biome altogether. I'm not going to go into the science of why single biome planets are horribly unfeasible, but whatever. Just like make it a jungle planet, make it a tundra planet, make it a something we haven't even seen before. Like I don't even know what to think, but if you're gonna go desert planet, make it Tatooine or nothing at all. So here we are back again on a desert planet because why not? All right, so here we go.
We've passed on all we know. 1,000 generations live in you now.
Okay, so they got Luke Skywalker. Hopefully they rehabilitate his character because that is not Luke Skywalker I saw in episode 8. He was supposed to be the optimistic, hopeful person. He's, not supposed to be this grumpy old man who really doesn't want to deal with anything. And you have him saying there that basically like all the collective wisdom of the Jedi comes down to Rey. Presumably that's what he's talking about here. I'm just gonna make some presumptions. So basically, like Rey is the final hope. She's the last one, kind of like Luke was during the original trilogy. So it's all coming down to Rey now. So okay, there we go. Moving on. Oh, and we got a TIE fighter incoming because why not?
But this is your fight.
And that legend is Luke Skywalker. I just want to say, though, for the record, Han Solo is cooler than Luke Skywalker. I'm just going to say it. Nothing against Luke. Just saying Han is way cooler. TIE Interceptor. Now, I'm just going to say right here, it's a cool-looking scene we got here with the TIE Interceptor skimming across the surface with the cloud of dust going and sand going behind it. It looks cool. Just want to point out, though, that these things do, in fact, have turbo lasers. And presumably this TIE fighter is trying to kill Rey because that just seems obvious what's going on here. This thing does have turbo lasers. You can, totally shoot at her. Also, you don't need to be skimming along the surface. These things can fly through space. You can go get some altitude and, do a strafing run that way. Do you not know how airstrikes work? Apparently not, but it's a cool image. It's a cool image. Makes no sense, but cool image. Okay, he's trying to ram her. Basically, he's trying to do what were they in Halo? The ghosts in multiplayer, you would run them over with the ghost. I used to do that. Well, I never really did that all that much. But I did well in Halo Reach, though. I'd put the armor lock on. I'd hear them speeding up behind me. I'd slam on the armor lock right before they hit me, and then they would get shattered into a million little pieces. It was hilarious. I don't think they have armor. Is there Force armor lock? I don't think there is, but who knows? Force basically does whatever plot needs it to. That would be cool, though. You got to admit. Don't judge me for doing that. Oh, she's not a Mary Sue. Yeah, Rey's not a Mary Sue at all. Doing backflips, taking on a TIE Interceptor that's about to smash into her. Yeah. Luke, if Luke tried to do that, he'd be splattered. Okay, in his prime. If you watch the original trilogy and you saw him do that, you'd be like, no, that's not happening. And say, oh, it's your sexist against women. No, I'm not. If that was a male character, if Rey was a male character, I would be saying the same thing. I mean, come on. How much training she get? How much time she spent on Dagobah, lifting rocks and pulling X-Wings out of the mud? None. She didn't do any of that. She just has this natural built-in ability, didn't struggle, didn't... Luke got his hand cut off by Vader. Okay, watch Empire Strikes Back. If you don't remember, Vader pretty much kicked his teeth in. Metaphorically, of course. Cut his hand off. Literally, cut his hand off. I mean, he struggled. He failed time and time again. And then that's why when he finally did succeed at the end of Return of the Jedi, he redeemed Vader. He, led to... Well, Vader technically defeated the Emperor, but, he led to the defeat of the Emperor and all that stuff. It was that much, that much of a sweeter victory. Rey's come on. Doing backflips and taking on a TIE Interceptor, which all, by the way, should have been shooting at her this whole time because these things do have turbo lasers. But, okay, whatever. I'm ranting. I'm moving on. I have no idea what's going here, but this looks actually pretty interesting. It's basically not a desert biome, so okay. Yay, this is what I'm talking about, people. If you're going to have it, different mountaintop villages or cities you have here, that's a pretty interesting setting. Okay, let's go with that. Or whatever. You know what I'm trying to say here. Okay, there's Kylo being Kylo. You see the ominous red background. He's got his lightsaber here. He's taking guys out. Yeah, is he going to be a bad guy again? Because he was a bad guy, but then he became sort of a good guy at he teamed up with Rey to fight Snoke and the little red Power Ranger guards he's got around him. And then he went back to being 5 seconds later being a bad guy. So is he a bad guy or is he a good guy? What are you doing? Pick a side and just be decisive. I know there's conflict in you, but pick something. And thing is, like, when you decide to go the other, okay, you're evil, and then you get redeemed, fine. But then you go back to being evil again, like 30 seconds later. It's like, what are we doing here? Like, it's confusing. Like, what are your motivation? What are Kylo's motivations here? And it makes no sense to me, but what his motivations are. But here he is being a bad guy. Okay, fine. He's the bad guy. Be the bad guy. Got it. Yeah, he's probably a bad guy because we got a First Order trooper here. He's shooting probably this guy here. He got the laser beam. You got the blaster bolt right here attacking this guy here. So yeah, he's now again probably the head of the First Order. Okay, makes sense. He's the big. Is he now? Here's the thing though. Is he the big bad? Because if he's the big bad, that really doesn't make any sense. Well, it would make sense. I mean, maybe from a continuity standpoint, but as far as the audience perspective is concerned, it doesn't make any sense because the chief good guy here is Rey, and Rey already beat him twice. So it's not like, okay, Vader beat Luke, and so Luke had to beat Vader. He redeemed him, didn't beat him technically, but you know what I mean. That's the thing. Like, it was a challenge to be overcome. It's like we already know if Rey and Kylo fight, we know who's gonna win because we know how that's gonna turn out. So why bother? It just like there's no catharsis at the end of this, but whatever. Okay, so Kylo probably is back to being a bad guy again. But then again, we're making assumptions here. Maybe he turned the First Order back to being a force for good. And like these are bad guys here, and that the First Order troopers are killing off other worse people that we haven't established yet. And like, who knows? Maybe I'm making assumptions. I'm reading too much into this. Any case, so Kylo being a bad guy, I'm just gonna presume he's a bad guy till further notice. There we go. He got the mask. He's welding it, fixing it back together again. That was a big part of his identity. Was part of his arc was he was the bad guy. He had the mask because he wanted to be like Vader, and was there to intimidate his enemies. And okay, that was part of his character arc. Now, why is he welding this? I don't know. You'd figure if you have all the resources available, you can just get a new one, a new mask that looks the same. And look, they're mass producing these things in China right now. I figured they can, they could scrounge up something new for him. But fine, you want to weld this together, fine. And you're back to being the bad guy again. Okay, that makes sense. Okay, I see where you're going with this. Whatever. Okay, moving on. Okay, you got Poe and you got Finn. They're adventuring together. And that's the way it should be. These guys should be adventuring together. They barely had any sort of... They escaped from the death... not... What's that thing? The Star Destroyer in episode 7. And that was pretty much the only interactions they had. Then they met up a little while later. But they really had like no real interaction with each other. They should have been... The whole trilogy should be these guys adventuring together. Going off and doing things, collectively. At the same time and not going in separate directions. So yeah, good to see that they're doing that. Very nice. I'm cool with that. Okay, we got BB-8 here. Okay, he's basically the R2-D2 replacement, which, okay, fine. It's the way things are going to go. And then we got this thing. It's like a cone. It's a cone with little antennas on it on top of a unicycle. Call me cynical, but I'm pretty sure this is just a merchandise grab. I have zero faith in this character's ability to do much of anything beyond create more demand for toys. Okay, going on. Got Chewie on the Millennium Falcon, where it should be. He's cheering. It's awesome. And, of course, we got Lando. Yes, we're playing up the nostalgia again. Lando is back flying the Millennium Falcon. Should be Han back there, but, since he's obviously indisposed at the moment, Lando in charge of the Millennium Falcon. Oh, this is awesome. Yes, my nostalgia. Oh, yes. I'm feeling very nostalgic right now. This is awesome. This makes me very, very happy. Okay, now here we got, let me just try to back it up right here. Where was it on what I just saw right there? Okay, these things right here. It's hard to, it's blurry right here, but I don't feel like adjusting it any further. Any case, these things look like they have to be on Tatooine because these things look like the skiffs that were around the sail barge or on Jabba's palace. Again, you're playing up the nostalgia again, which I can see that. Like again, go with the nostalgia, or do something new and completely different. Like those are really your two options. And it seems like Abrams is firmly in the nostalgia camp at this point. So yeah, go for it. I'm actually cool with that. Again, it depends on why they're here, what the plot is, and everything else. Like from what I see here, who knows what's going on. But yeah, going down the nostalgia trip. Very nice. This is definitely a response to Rian Johnson and his destroy the past thing, kill if you have to. That whole thing about we're going completely new directions. This is 100% a response to that. I'm sure about it. That like as soon as The Last Jedi came out and the overwhelmingly negative feedback from critics and reviewers and everything, Abrams like, okay, how do we salvage this? How do we salvage this? Like his head was just in his hands going like, oh man, what are we doing? So yeah, I think he's going full nostalgia, which I'm totally fine with. Well, whatever. Moving on. Yep. Okay, we got C-3PO here. Very nice. And this has got to be Jabba's sail barge. You got basically got Finn and Poe here, and they're basically like the Luke and Han together. They're off adventuring together, and they're on Jabba's sail barge or some like a skiff like that, probably on Tatooine. That's what I'm getting from this, and I'm cool with it. No idea what that medallion is. But we got Carrie Fisher. She's back. I'm sure they filmed these scenes before. It doesn't look computer generated. I don't know. Maybe I'm not very good at telling these things, and my computer is not very high res anyway, so I can't really tell. But hopefully I think they filmed these scenes beforehand, before her death. So in any case, good to see her back, and very tragic what happened to her. And yeah, Leia was awesome. Not the whole force power thing, getting sucked into space and all that's just stupid, but good to see Leia. All right, moving on.
We'll always be with you.
And there's the shot right there. There are heroes. We got, the band all together. There is no R2-D2. That's what I noticed here the first time I saw this. No, we got, BB-8. We got Chewie here. We got, Chewie here, BB-8. Whatever this thing is. We got C-3PO, Rey, Poe, and Finn, old and the new together. Where is R2-D2? You can't not have R2-D2 in this sort of thing. I mean, that's like, maybe there'd be too many droids at that point, and, I can see that, but, here's the shot. Here's our heroes, old and new, coming together. I kind of like this. Because, nostalgia is great, but, we are going in new directions as well, so it's kind of the combination of the two, juxtaposed to each other. I'm fine with it, but no R2-D2, and I haven't seen him at all in these trailers. So in this trailer, maybe I missed him, but come on, no R2. Not liking that. And that is the Death Star. They have to be probably on Endor with the Force, one of the moon on Endor. Maybe, I don't know where they are, but yeah, this is definitely Endor. Might be Yavin with the original Death Star, but I highly doubt that. I have a feeling this is the second Death Star, and you'll see why in a few seconds.
No one's ever really gone.
And that's Palpatine. So that's why I think it's the second Death Star, because that's where Palpatine died. So yeah, Palpatine is back. Hey, look, I'm calling it. We never saw the body, did we? Right? End of Return of the Jedi. Vader threw him down the shaft. He was still intact. He was still alive. Just fell down the shaft, and there's a big flash of light. We didn't get a body. Which, in movie logic, if you don't see if there's no body, the person's still very much alive. And as we all are aware, the Force is basically not limited. It basically does whatever the plot needs it to. So yeah, there's some Force BS midichlorians or something. Yes, I said that. I said midichlorians. There's some Force stuff going on over here, and yeah, Palpatine's behind it all. Yeah. Now here's the thing: is he Darth Plagueis? Now Palpatine said in the I'm nerding out here, but then again, this is Star Wars. Of course, I'm going to be nerding out. Palpatine was talking about Darth Plagueis to Anakin in episode 3. I think, yeah, it was episode 3 about he was able to create life in Darth Plagueis. That's probably a lie. What if Palpatine is Darth Plagueis? Or like it's like a sort of like a Dread Pirate Robert saying, yeah, I'm mixing movies here. But basically like Palpatine like fakes his death or something like that, and then gets figure out some way to resurrect him. Like he's creating life by like resurrecting himself somewhere along the line. And so Palpatine is Darth Plagueis. Or Snoke was Darth Plagueis, and there's a clone of him around, and like Palpatine's consciousness got uploaded, or some like there's some kind of connection. Like, how does Snoke fit into all this? You know, I have no idea. I have no idea. There's like the speculation's endless. But yeah, Palpatine is back, and you know what? That is a bad guy to worry about because he's Palpatine. I mean, yeah, he's not like Snoke who died like, well. He basically died due to a sleight of hand card trick, really, Palpatine, okay, that guy's somewhat intimidating. I mean, not physically, but yeah, he's way better. He's a way more charismatic and more awesome bad guy than Snoke. And I have no idea how Kylo fits into all this. So. Okay, so there's the name of it, The Rise of Skywalker. And that brings up the question, who is Skywalker? Obviously, we have Luke Skywalker, obviously him there. And maybe that involves something like, what if, the idea of creating life or, resurrecting yourself, like Palpatine is obviously resurrected. What if, Luke figures that out and Luke comes back and actually is, like, awesome, like the way he should be, like he shows up there with his like he said, wouldn't it be awesome if, like, what do you think I'm going to be, like he said in episode 8, you think I'm just going to show up with my laser sword and save everyone? Yeah, that would be pretty freaking awesome. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm paying money to see you do, yes. So maybe there's something like Luke is, I mean, you heard him talking, and he does have a confirmed role in this. Is it going to be just a Force ghost? Can he use Force lightning, which is a dark side power, like Yoda did? I'm just saying, I'm not bitter or anything about that whole sequence of events, that whole movie, but whatever. But is Rey a secret Skywalker? Is Poe? I mean, Poe is a fantastic pilot. I mean, maybe that's like, precognition, like that's how he's able to, pilot so well. Maybe Poe is, a Skywalker in some capacity. Maybe. I'm thinking Rey. I mean, it's just obviously pointing to Rey, which means they'll probably subvert our expectations and go with someone else like Poe. Maybe even Finn. I don't know. Who knows? Maybe some character we don't know. I don't know if they would even introduce a new character. That would make no sense. Like, oh, here, yeah, the savior of all of us is this character we've never met before. I highly doubt they would do that, but who knows? Yeah. So who is Skywalker? Like, who is basically? It's got to be Rey. My money's on Rey because, obviously, and yeah. Overall, okay. So overall, I'm actually somewhat cautiously optimistic with this. I want to say I vowed after The Last Jedi I wasn't going to see any more Star Wars movies, and they've completely destroyed it for me. They might be. We'll see other trailers and more information comes out. They might convince me to go see this movie. Might being the key operative word here. Yeah, I am not gonna lie to you guys. I do not have high hopes for this. Because, the original movie was, by episode 7, of this trilogy, was kind of on shaky grounds to begin with. And then episode 8 just kind of, destroyed whatever credibility that this, whatever potential it had, that was completely destroyed there. I just want to point out that, partially out of a writing perspective, like, how are you going to pull this off? Like, how the absolute disaster that was The Last Jedi, plot-wise, how is Abrams going to be able to redeem himself? Like, just for more of a morbid curiosity thing. Yeah. Oh, one thing I just want to point out here, you didn't see here any space battles. Like, there's no giant space battles, which is pretty much the hallmark of Star Wars as a series. And that's probably in response to the Holdo maneuver with the hyperspace jump. I'm just going to go on a limb here and say that they said, the best way around this is just to not mention. Let's just pretend it didn't even happen, and let's just not even go into space. Because if there is a space battle of any kind, everyone's going to be saying, why not just do the Holdo maneuver? Just hyperspace. Oh, they got a new giant Death Star type thing going on. Yeah, let's just hyperspace some some ships into it, and okay, problem solved. So they said we're not even going to address it. We're not going to we're just going to pretend it didn't happen. We're going to stay on planet side. We're not going to have any major battles. It seems like there was some fighting there. You got Kylo. Let me see if I can find the scene. Yeah, here it is. Yeah, you got Kylo here. He's attacking people. Like it's the ground. So there is going to be some like war because it is Star Wars. You think there'd be some fighting in it. So there's going to be most of that, but it seems to be, instead of these big battles like we've seen in previous incarnations of Star Wars, it's going to be a lot smaller, a lot more focused on the individual characters and their particular journeys rather than like the big battle. So you got the crew here. They're all they're all adventuring and they're all going off. And there's something about like they're going to be searching in here in the fallen Death Star wreckage to find something. I'm sure they're going to find like Palpatine's clone or something, like the soul of Palpatine there or something like that. Who knows? But it seems to be more like a small scale adventure story, like a heroic rather than an epic's tale, if that makes sense at all. I'm just kind of rambling. It's more of a fantasy thing. This is a fantasy story. Star Wars is, it's technically sci-fi, but it's more fantasy than it is sci-fi, and it's more of a heroic fantasy in this case than an epic. An epic fantasy is like giant battles like Lord of the Rings. Heroic fantasy is like Conan the Barbarian, in the sense that's like small scale, more limited characters, more focused on them. So yeah. So yeah, December film is not yet rated, probably gonna be PG. Yeah, okay, so overall, I mean, trailers can make any movie look good. They can make it look bad, too. I mean, trailers are horribly deceiving. I just want to point out, though, that I am very cautiously optimistic. I might see it again. Maybe I will, maybe I won't. But overall, like, okay, you have my interest, which is the point of a trailer. You piqued my interest, and let's hope you don't disappoint, because I've been disappointed by you guys before. Not you guys, not my audience. You guys are awesome. But the directors and producers of Star Wars, you've bitten me before, and I don't like having that happen to me. And that's pretty much it. So yeah, overall, I rate this trailer. I give it, a B minus. A B. Yeah, maybe a B. I'll be generous. Give it a B. I'm not overly excited about it, but you do have my curiosity here. So, that's pretty much it for this video. More videos will be coming out whenever I get around to it. I'm sorry, life has basically been happening to me, so I haven't been putting out as often as possible, as often as I would have liked. But, that's pretty much it. So, anyway, hit the like and subscribe button. More will be coming out whenever I do get around to it, and hopefully I'll have something next week. And have a good day. Or don't have a good day. You are adults. You are free to do whatever you like. You want to have a good day? Have a good day. You don't want to have a good day? You don't do that. Well, anyway, see you later.